Good morning, everybody, and this is your DAX day trade setups for today. So, bit of a warning bell on Friday, which was this inside bar here, range bar, which formed off a pretty much a trend line. I just do that. Just want to extend it a bit. So that is our trend line. We've come up to test the inverse head and shoulders neckline as well. So just with that setup that we see here, if we just draw a line, as you can see, it lines up with the swing low here, but it's basically the low of this previous bar. That's an inside bar on the daily, okay, and that's normally a bearish setup. Although it's green, I would prefer it to be red, and then I'd be watching for a potential turn. The other thing to bear in mind here as well is of this entire move, we are just on the 61.8, as you can see there. Okay, so lots of bearish setup there, but looking at this move here, it's a pretty strong move up, but yeah, V reversals are actually rare. So I have to wait and see what happens here. Okay, so let's just get down to some of the lower time frames where we can trade. Now, we haven't even closed the gap. So the gap is over there. Okay, so the gap kind of coincides with the trend line to the upside. So that is 12,654. And we pretty much went sideways Friday, which is par for the course. At the moment, futures is up 1.4% on the DAX. So we're looking to be around 12,656 at the moment. 12,3. 12.6, which is pretty much around the gap at the moment. Okay, so that's kind of where we are at the moment. So I'd be looking for structure and look for the structure for the pullbacks. But before we get to the setups, what I'd really like to know is where you guys are from. So why not just drop me a comment down below and just let me know what country you're from. Subscribers are growing every day, and it would be interesting to see where everybody's from. Let's get to the hour. Right. I would like to see a pullback onto the structure. Okay. Now bear in mind that these two bars here, okay, are the high and the low. You can see the range of 2 days, so that's 2 days range, and a break above 12,562 and a retest of this area would get me looking at some longs, but I'm going to want to get above. So one of two things basically. I'd like to see a pullback and close this gap down here. Okay, so somewhere around 12,327, and then buy off the bottom of the range and then look for the long down here. The second setup is really to watch what happens here at 12,592 or 12,600. If that holds, then I would be tempted to look for a long, but keep a really tight stop because of this overhead resistance. If we clear this overhead resistance in this area here of probably 12,700, I would think, yeah, 12,700. If we clear that 12,700 area back and test on it, then definitely looking for longs there with a pretty tight stop on the previous swing low. So that's kind of my setup on the DAX at the moment. Probably going to be an opportunity to look for the 15-minute. If you see this kind of price action on the 15-minute, just get out of it, wait for a better day, and you can see up and below the moving average all the time and sideways. So we do have the politicians sorting themselves out in the US, which may help the DAX out a little bit, but bear in mind that we do have a lot Europe looking at lockdowns as well, which is going to impact pretty much impact the economy more than anything else. But you're going to have to be very, very careful about what you're doing here. So just make sure that your stops are as close as possible to the previous swing high or swing low, sorry, and look for the opportunities. Wait for the breakouts and the retests. Okay, so you can see on the 50-minute, you can see where the structure is. Okay, this zone here is riddled with structure from Friday. Okay, so it was pretty much a bit of Thursday and Friday here. So there's a lot of structure here. So that's where I would be buying off. Okay, So first price would be 12,592. Second price would be 12,543, and then ultimately 12,514, and even the gap here as well. That would also be an opportunity to buy off. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm looking for. I know we're in a gap up. I want to see a pullback into structure, hold the structure, and that will give me an opportunity to buy. And this is a great place for stops, just below these swing lows here. Okay, anyway guys, that's it for me today. I hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow. Stay safe, and cheers for now.